In this short video, I'd like to share Wanse's path and recommendation for effective change and the conditions for steady progress on the path of self-realization and wisdom. So the first thing is we need an effective path. We need a roadmap and a proven path that is safe and effective. And this is what Ren Xue provides through the philosophy, the teachings, the exercises, the Gong methods. This provides a safe, effective pathway that is already proven. So once we have that pathway, then obviously we need to want to step on that path. We need to want to walk that path. And that means we need a deep desire within us for change. And what I've noticed personally in 15 years of clinical practice working with people who are chronically ill is that it's not until they reach a point that they're willing to do whatever it takes to get the results that they want that there is what I call a turning point moment where they're just ready and willing to change. So this is what we mean by a sincere intention. We need a deep desire to want to walk this path, something inside us, inside our heart, inside our gut, feels very, very strongly that this feels like the right thing. And you just know when you've met that moment. And so we have this sincere intention and desire to do this work, and it is work. Working on ourselves, this personal development stuff, is work. It's not for the faint-hearted because it requires a lot of discipline, commitment, perseverance, self-awareness, going inside and meeting those parts of ourselves that we've been avoiding, whether unconsciously or consciously. And as we know, our society is geared up or has been geared up to go outside and to be looking outside of ourselves for gratification and happiness and satisfaction. But what we do in this work or any personal development work, and especially spiritual personal development work, is that we turn our attention around and we turn it inwards and we shine the light inwards. And in doing so, we're going to see parts of ourselves that maybe we've been avoiding. And as we come to see, actually, there is no reason to fear and avoid these parts of ourselves, but due to our patterns and our conditioning and our past experiences and our programming and all this sort of stuff, we have been unconsciously avoiding these parts of ourselves. But usually what happens is a crisis happens, a personal crisis happens, and this forces us sooner or later to turn within. And usually that crisis is not chosen consciously. It's something that happens maybe out of the blue, maybe it happens in an instant, maybe it happens over a period of time where we have a crisis such as an illness or something unfortunate happening in our life, which brings us to realize that there is change needed within and that the only place to change from is within. And then we go searching for answers and a solution. And we may try many different solutions and approaches until we find the one that we finally feel, yeah, this is the one. And this is the one that I want to stick with. And as Wanse says, he said, there's no point in skimming along the surface. You have to go deep. So often what we can do initially on our journey of personal development is try many different approaches. And this is all good in terms of discovering this new approach to life and discovering ourselves. It's a bit like going up to a smorgasbord and trying lots of different dishes. But eventually we're going to need to settle on one dish because then we can really explore that dish in depth and we stop skimming along the surface and we go deep. So we need a clear and determined attitude, and we need to work on ourselves consistently, which means we're doing it daily, regularly. This is not something that we do just once a month or once every 6 months or once a year. This is work that we come to do on a regular, consistent basis, so much so that it becomes part of our life. It becomes part of our daily life and who we are, just like brushing our teeth or doing any other routine that we may do on a daily basis. And we need a lot of perseverance on this journey because there will be challenges, and sometimes it is a matter of 2 steps forward and 1 step back. And so we're going to need a lot of perseverance and a lot of patience, a lot of self-compassion. And when we fall over sometimes and think, I can't get up again, I've had enough, then at some point we do find ourselves getting up and carrying on and taking that next step. And this perseverance builds a strength and a courage within us that can only be built through the perseverance, through the knockdowns, through the falling over, getting up again, falling over, getting up again. And sometimes we can be brought to our knees and feel like I just can't go on. Things are just too difficult with whatever is going on in our life. But somehow we keep going. Something keeps us going. So we carry on, we work with determination, and even though it may be difficult at times, when we have a clear path, such as Ren Xue gives us, and we have support, and we have a tribe of people around us on the same journey, then we can keep going. And it's so much easier to be able to keep going in this tribe with the support around us. And then, of course, part and parcel with this perseverance is the fact that we need to apply what we're learning. It's one thing to learn something intellectually or theoretically, and altogether another thing to put it into practice and to apply it. And one of my favorite quotes from a teacher is, "An ounce of practice is worth a ton of theory." So even though theory is really, really important, and like we have the 2 legs, we have one leg is theory and one leg is practice, and we do need both legs because otherwise we'll be very unstable. If we don't apply the theory that we learn, then there is no change, because this change that we are looking for and doing through the Ren Xue practices and the Wang Gong practices, this change and this transformation is experiential. It is a transformation which happens inside the body that has little to do with our normal thinking mind. And this change comes as a byproduct of doing the practices. So whether it's the Tian one, the Di one, the Ren one, the Sha one, the Tong one, the Ling one, whether it's the moving meditations, the sitting meditations, the standing practices, whatever the method is, it's the application of the method which brings the inner transformation, which brings the change of state, which then allows us to reach greater levels of self-realization and wisdom. And of course, this is because when we do the methods, we are cultivating our state of calm, relaxed, and natural, this still state within us. And from that, we can start to move towards our true self, or for our true self to manifest. And so as a result of our Wang Gong practices, we cultivate more and more a calm, relaxed, natural state, which is what allows the true self to manifest. And as we work on our patterns, the false master, the false self, and we clear our patterns, this allows our true self to manifest. And as we cultivate the 5 essential qualities of the heart, this allows our true self to manifest. So it is the application of the methods, but also the application of the philosophy in our daily life, in everyday life, that brings the change that we're looking for. And this is the diligent, consistent effort and perseverance. And then the fourth step is detachment, detachment from outcome. Because of course we know that we're working towards the manifestation of the true self and greater wisdom. And of course we want that dearly, but that can also be a trap. So one of our lessons is to be detached from the outcome, but to do the work anyway and to focus on the work we're doing. And so to focus on the cultivation of these 5 treasures: the health, the happiness, the well-being, the growth, and the contribution. We put our focus on these things, and especially putting our focus on the growth and the contribution, and letting go of attachment to wanting the outcome of the true self to manifest, which can be quite challenging because we want it so much. So these are the 4 stages, or the 4 conditions for steady progress on the path of self-realization and wisdom. First, an effective path. Secondly, sincere intention to do the work. Third, we apply ourselves to doing the work. And fourth, detachment from outcome.